Morning, guys. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jacob Matherly. I'm one of the student leaders here at Coyote for our youth group. Our officer, our church administrator, Mr. Jeff Meeks, asked me a few days ago to do one of these little summer devotionals that we're doing for our youth group right now. And of course, I would love to do something like that for y'all. Oh, by the way, wrong side. Go Dogs. Mr. Jeff will agree with that. For those who are not affiliated with Coyote, our pastor does not like this symbol. Don't tell him I said that. We're praying for him, but it's just he likes that team that's down in that little panhandle state. They're like blue and orange. We're praying for him. It's just one of those things. So Jeff asked me to do one of these little devotionals for y'all, just something 10 minutes, something y'all can hop on any day, any time of the week, and kind of just jump on here, look at it, get a little quick devotional, since we're not going to be doing youth during the summer. So I was going through, devotions like this, you can pick anything, you can talk about anything. It's all kind of up in the air. So the first thing that came to my mind was Jeremiah 29. For those who don't know, Jeremiah 29 is Jeremiah's letter to the exiles. And if you want to, Jeremiah's a great book to read. It's a little heavy. It's kind of like reading Job. It's got a lot of interpretation in it. It's a great book if you are looking for a book to go through, read during the summer. It's jam-packed. I won't even get into it right now just because we don't really have the time to do it. But Jeremiah 29 is, like I said before, his letter to the exiles, and kind of the verses that I want to look at are, let's just say, kind of 10 through 14 just for this little segment right here. So I'm going to read this for you real quick. So Jeremiah 29, starting in verse 10. So it starts, "For thus says the Lord, when 70 years are completed for Babylon, I will visit you, and I will fulfill to you my promise and bring you back to this place. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for your welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Then when you call upon me and come and pray to me, I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and I will restore your fortunes and gather you from all the nations and all the places where I have driven you, declares the Lord, and I will bring you back to the place from which I have sent you into exile." So, just to kind of stay on the boundaries with this, just because we got a lot of stuff going on right now. We got a lot of fear. We have a lot of discontent. We have a lot of turmoil. We have a lot of chaos going on right now. And I know for guys that are my age and guys that are in our youth group, our new youth pastor, we kind of see it in a different light than kids that are y'all's age that are in our youth group, our 6th graders, 7th graders, all the way up to our seniors. So I bring that verse up just because I've always loved that verse in Jeremiah. It's always been a great go-to. Like I said before, that whole section of that passage is a great one to read. But that's that verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for your welfare, and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and I will restore to you your fortunes and gather you from all the nations and all the places where I have driven you, declares the Lord, and I will bring you back to the place from which I have sent you into exile." I just love that verse and that passage because, like I said, it can be applied to anything that's going on in your life. It doesn't have to be what's happening right now. It doesn't have to be what's going to happen in the future. It applies to anything. And I just love it because the underlying kind of theme of that verse is no matter what's going on right now, and I kind of use what's going on in our climate in today just because we are seeing things that our generation has never seen before, our parents' generation hasn't seen before, and it's tough, it's scary. And even for a guy my age, it's scary because we don't really know what's getting ready to happen next. It's going to be big, whichever way it swings. And I'm not sure if it's going to be for the best or if it's going to be for the worst. It's just we're stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. And the reason I bring that verse up when Mr. Jeff asked me to do this, that was the first verse that came to my mind as soon as he said, "Would you mind doing a devotional for us to put, on the website for our kids to look at?" The first thing that came to my mind was Jeremiah 29. Just like I said, because you can use it for, personal issues that are going on, worldly things that are going on. And the whole thing that I love about that verse that comes out of there is, "I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Everything is for your benefit if," and here's what I love about this verse, "if you come and seek me with all your heart." That's what I love about that part, because a lot of us don't use this the way that we need to most of the time. Most of the time we'll go 6-8 weeks, we don't pick this thing up. And that's the truth. I am guilty of that. There have been multiple times, especially when I was in college, I'd go months on end without even picking this thing up. I would pick this thing up off my dresser and there would be dust on top of it. And we have to be able to admit that to each other. We're not perfect. We can't be in this thing every day. We should, but it's human nature. But what I love about that is, like I said, this applies to everything that's going on. And it's tough. And I've been struggling with it for the last couple months, but that's why I brought this one up, is no matter what you're going through, no matter what's happening around you, in your life, not in your life, in your friend's life, that's what I'm saying. This doesn't even have to be applied to you. It can be, if you have a friend that's going through something and you're trying to minister to him, you're trying to encourage him, hey, go read Jeremiah 29 for me real quick. Let me know what you think. Because in there it says, essentially you want the kind of the southern dumbed down version of whatever version you're reading. It's, the Lord is essentially telling you, if you're a believer and you trust in me, I got you. And I love that part about that verse in Jeremiah is, like I said, I know the plans I have for you. My plans are not to harm you. They're never to harm you. They're always to make you prosper. Now, you may not like the way that I'm trying to make you prosper. And 9 times out of 10, it's not all candy and roses. It's not sugar-coated. It's going to be tough. But he knows the plans he has for you. Everything that's going on right now, like I said, no matter if it's in your life, no matter it's the climate of the world we're living in right now, the thing that you need to keep in mind right now is he's got it in his hands. He's got it under control. And I know a lot of us are starting to think, I don't know about that. How could somebody who gives us a verse like that, how could someone who loves us so much and wants nothing but our prosper and our well-being, he loves us to death, how could he allow things like this to happen? And to be honest with you, I don't know the answer to that question. I don't think most people know the answer to that question. We won't really understand the full capacity of how the Lord loves us until we get to heaven. We got a lot of questions. But the good thing is, once we get to heaven, we're not going to care about those kind of questions anymore. Because as soon as we walk through those gates and we finally get to see him, we're going to be on our knees. We're going to be so happy that all the things that we went through in our lives, we're not going to walk up and be like, what could I get? Okay, here's an example for it to tie this back in. How could you let Georgia go to overtime and get bombed on a deep pass and lose the national championship? We're not going to care about stupid questions like that, because we're going to be in the presence of the Lord and we're going to be praising him and we're going to be glorifying him and we're going to be singing with him, and it's going to be great. So all that to say, just to kind of wrap this up, the Lord's got this. It's in his hands. It's always been in his hands, and it will always be in his hands. It's never going to go to anybody else, and he will always have our well-being in his interest. So that's all I got for you today. Like I said before, my name's Jacob Matherly. I'm one of our student leaders here. If you've ever got any questions, you ever want to talk to me about anything, there's a bunch of guys in the youth group that have my contact info. You can contact the church. My mom is actually one of the staff members. She's director of our children's ministries here at church. So somebody's going to know who I am if you ever want to talk. You got questions, even if you don't go to Kaioki. If you somehow just stumbled across our website today and you just saw this and was like, I kind of like what he's talking about. Can we talk about it more? Go to our website, email our our church administrator, Jeff Meeks. It's jeff@cahokie.org. And that's for anything. If you want more information on our church, our youth group, how things are going, just go to our website. We have our Instagram, our Facebook page, and just shoot us a message and somebody will get back in contact with you about it, and we'll try to set something up for y'all. So we love you. We hope you have a good week, and we'll keep doing this throughout the summer, and hopefully it'll be good for y'all, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, when we come back to the fall, we can all get back together and start doing all the stupid stuff we like to do together at youth. So love y'all. We'll see y'all soon.